today's tutorial. I'm Rachel from the Sugarcraft School, and today I'm going to be showing you a really quick and easy way that you can create a marbled effect on your sugar paste. So I've got my sugar paste here, it's just normal white sugar paste, and I'm just going to condition it with a little bit of Trex, which is just vegetable fat. So I'm just rubbing some of that into my work surface, and I'm starting to knead my sugar paste. I'm doing this in a couple of different stages so that it's easier to manage and I'm having to use less force. So just keep kneading that and turning it around slightly, and then kneading, turning, kneading, and picking up that vegetable fat into the paste, which will just help to condition it, keep it nice and supple, stretchy, and easier to work with while you're using it on your cake. Okay. And once you've got it from this sort of solid block here with no stretch, you can see it's tricky to stretch, and then we've conditioned it and we've given it a nice bit of stretch. That's when it's ready to then start using. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the rest of it, and I'll see you back here. So I've conditioned both halves of the sugar paste that I need, and I've combined them together into one conditioned ball. So once the paste is conditioned, we're going to add in some gel colours. So I'm just going to create sort of a subtle grey and white marble. If you want something more intense with your marbling, you can add in some black. Obviously, you can do this in whatever colourway you want. So have a play and experiment and see what works. So to start with, I'm just opening up the sugar paste a little bit, because what I want to do is get some colour through the paste. And then I'm just going to take my gel colour and run it along in certain areas. It doesn't really matter, because obviously this volume of sugar paste is going to get thinned out and rolled out a little bit more than this before we can put it on the cake. So we're just going to add some more in. And obviously if you want it really subtle, then put less colour in. If you want it more intense, add more in. You can obviously add some black in. You can add multiple colours in there if you want. And at the moment it doesn't look like anything, but obviously as we roll out, it will start to look marbled. Now here you're just checking that there's no sort of big white areas. So if there's any areas without any colour in, we're just going to check those and pop a little bit in before we finish. And if you get any on your hands, don't worry, it's a bit of a messy job. And just try and bring that back into a little bit of a circle again for rolling out. Okay. So here's our starting circle. Now we're ready to roll. So I'm just adding a little bit of cornstarch to my bench, and this will help stop any sugar paste from sticking to the workbench as I roll out. I'm also just going to pop a little bit on the very top there, again just to stop my rolling pin from sticking. I'm just going to keep turning this round. I'm trying to keep it in obviously a round shape if you're covering a round cake, and if you're doing a square, same, just be mindful of the shape that you're rolling into. And if you have any air bubbles, now's the time to just keep an eye out for them, get rid of them. I'm always rolling from the middle out to the edge, and I'm keeping my rolling pin on the sugar paste. It's not going off the edge, because what will happen is you end up with really flat, thin edges compared to everywhere else. A couple more little air bubbles there, just want to take care of. Just feeling for any air bubbles as I go. Okay, now I would keep running my hand around the edge to make sure that I've got a consistent thickness all the way around. And if there's any areas where I feel like it's thinner than others, then I would avoid those. And any areas that were chunkier than others, I'd obviously pay a little bit more attention to those. Just keep seeing if you can move around a little bit just to make sure it's not sticking onto that workbench. And I typically roll to about 3 mils. But if you're starting out, you might want to start out a little bit thicker than that, just while you gain the confidence. Again, just checking around that edge to make sure I'm consistent. Now here you can obviously see the beautiful marble coming through, but what I will always do with this technique is check the reverse, because we might actually have a more preferable marbling pattern on the back to what we have on the front. So on the back you can turn it over and quickly see whether you've got something that you like better, and I think I'm going to stick with the front because I prefer it. So just always check that, because you might be pleasantly surprised that you might have a preferable marbling on the back, in which case you would just flip it over and carry on rolling it with the other side facing up. Okay, so there's our beautiful marble. It's ready to go on the cake. Thanks for watching the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe. Come and join the Facebook group if you would love more tutorials and a fabulous community. It's the Sugarcraft School with Rachel Hannah over on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, if you use this technique or any others from the Sugarcraft School, please do tag us on Instagram at the Sugarcraft School in your work, and share the love.